Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone has had a fantastic day. Everyone's feeling fantastically well. Camera is not doing too well by the looks of things in the beginning of the stream, so let's fix that really quickly. But yeah, hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It is June 19th. 19 days we are into the transfer window, and still nothing. Seriously, nothing. We haven't done anything, which is quite insane to say the least. If we are talking in terms of Arsenal signings, future, and all the other stuff above. There are some very nuts news regarding Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna talk about this definitely. We have some weird transfer links in general with certain players, with certain attackers. Some players are leaving. It is all over the place. Maybe if there is still a chance that Arsenal might sign Gyökeres, maybe, just maybe. But obviously, we won't know until it actually comes to tuition ultimately, because so far it is all up in the air. Nobody knows what is going on, and everyone is hella confused. So for today, we're gonna talk about signings. We're gonna talk about again the schedule. We're gonna talk about Partey, Gyökeres potentially, Sesko, some other stuff. So definitely lots and lots of stuff revolving around Arsenal. So before we get into all this stuff, smash the like button if you haven't already. Helps the stream a lot. Takes a second, please. If you haven't, please do it. Subscribe if you're new around here. If you haven't already, roll to 1K is going strong. And of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them. We can discuss them. We can go from there. We can talk about all the things above. But today we're going to kick things off on somewhat positive note, which is a very rare occurrence regarding Arsenal, especially in this transfer window. But it's also not regarding transfers, which is a bit of an issue, I'm not going to lie. So what we're going to talk about is PFA Young Player of the Year Award. And here we go. Nominations for PFA Young Player of the Year Award. In Premier League, more specifically, if we look at those terms, we're gonna talk about we have to talk about this, because there's Liam Delap, of course, from Ipswich. There is Dean Housen from Bournemouth, who at the moment is already at Real Madrid. There's Milos Gyökeres, who is the left back for Bournemouth, and he is going to be at Liverpool very soon. There is Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa, who had a very good season. And of course, there are two Arsenal players. Now, first things first, Ethan Nwaneri, which is quite a unique one, given the fact that he hasn't played for Arsenal overall that much. You can say he has played like insane amount of minutes, but it's not even insane if you ask me. Let's check it, how much Nwaneri has played. Nwaneri, I think, has played 1,378 minutes this season, which on average from the games he has played comes out about 35 minutes a game, which overall seems fine, but it's not fine, let's be real. And of course, Miles Lewis-Skelly. Miles Lewis-Skelly is the bright spot into this for Arsenal, because Skelly, he stepped in at 18 years old, and he did a phenomenal job. He has played 2,500 minutes more than that. So that is actually a very, very massive one. In my opinion, Miles Lewis-Skelly, I'm going to take Arsenal biased aside from this. And despite that, I would say Miles Lewis-Skelly should be winning this. Now, whether it's going to happen or not remains to be seen. For me, the biggest question is, why the hell is Nwaneri there? Yes, he has played. He has scored some goals. But ultimately, for me, he hasn't played that much to be into it. Maybe it's because of the hype, PR, and all this stuff. I kind of can get it from that point of view. But overall, I'm kind of confused about that. I'm not gonna lie. Big up BBK. Miles Lewis-Skelly should be the runaway winner. Should be. You would think so, because, well, there's no other option, to be honest, in my opinion. He actually deserves it. We got Super Big Arteta. He knows exactly. He knows not what we need. Partey not at right back, Merino in attack. By October 1st, we are out the league. We genuinely by October 1st could be out of the league, because this is a nice segue as well, by the way. Thanks, BBK. The outrage I have seen from Arsenal fans regarding the table, the fixture list, is actually embarrassing, in my opinion. The outrage is beyond a joke. It's like they have never seen a Premier League schedule before. Like, seriously? We have to play United, Liverpool, Newcastle, City in the first 6 games. Okay, cool. So what? Like, seriously, embrace this. Embrace the schedule. Because if you have a tough start, at some point you will have easier mid-table fixtures, or you will have easier later fixtures, right? At the same time, think about it this way. We have a very tough start of the season. Nobody's arguing about that. At the same time, this fixture list should actually spark some fire up Arteta's ass and everything to go out and make some signings, for fuck's sake. Because otherwise, we are 19 days done in June transfer window, and we have done nothing. We have done nothing. We don't have any concrete bids, no nothing. Oh, we have to wait till July 1st to sign Zubimendi. Oh, we have to wait till July 1st till Kepa arrives. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too hyped about those signings. That is the biggest thing. These deals, these talks, these rumors, and obviously social media is a big influence on this, has dragged out these sagas for so long that all the excitement, everything has disappeared. Not gonna lie, it has disappeared. The same thing was with Declan Rice, in my opinion. Because Declan Rice as well, as big as its signing it was, the big, long, dragged out signing situation that was happening there, it is actually a joke. Let's be real. It was an utter total joke. And let's be real, no, at the end of the day, when we signed him, it was like kind of, well, what else is new? Let's be real. Like, you don't get these out of nowhere signings because we haven't had many of those. Even under Mikel Arteta, as tight as he tries to hide these things, there have not been too many. But for me personally, yeah, going back to the schedule, think about it. October as well. BBK, you mentioned this. October 1st, right? Look at the games we play in October. West Ham at home. Last 2 seasons, we have done very well against West Ham at home, haven't we? Fulham away. Yeah, that has been good for us away, definitely. And Crystal Palace at home. Oh, bloody hell, don't you remember the last game? It's not that easy. Nottingham Forest as well in September at home. We struggle against them. We genuinely struggle. We went 2-0 up, and then we were holding on to dear life when they made it 2-1. Like, it's not that simple as it is. You know what would have been, in general, the icing on the cake on this one? If we played Leeds United away. Seriously, let's just swap, for example, Forest and Leeds games, right? If they were swapped around, and we played in the second game Leeds United away. If we played Leeds United, for example, at Ellen Road, like, that would be an even more insane. And let's be real, Leeds going to be up for it. All the teams are going to be up for it. And I read a stat, it's a weird stat, I'm not going to lie. It's a weird stat, but I don't want to say I believe in it, but I think there is something to it. I'm not going to lie. There is something to it. Is the fact that to win Premier League, right, on average, Premier League winners, right, get at least 23 points from the first 10 games. Get at least 23 points, which means in the first 10 games, you cannot afford to drop any points, pretty much. Think about it. 10 games, you can get 30 points. You can manage to drop 7 points at the end of the day. That's it. That's genuinely it. 10 points. 7 points. That's not that big of a leeway. And if we look at our first 10 games of the season, United away, Leeds at home, Liverpool away. Forest at home, City at home, Newcastle away. West Ham at home, Fulham away, Palace at home, and Burnley away. Those are the first 10 games Arsenal have in the season. And if I look right now at this fixture list, I'm not gonna lie, I'm shitting myself. I'm genuinely shitting myself. Because based on the previous years, especially last year as well, how did we fare against United away? It wasn't a pre-watch. Liverpool away, we haven't won there since 2012-2013 season. That's over a decade. Newcastle away, the less than said than better, let's be real. West Ham at home in the last few seasons has been a nightmare. At the Emirates, by the way. We are not talking about London Stadium, we're talking about Emirates. Fulham away has been a bit of a tough one as well. And Crystal Palace at home, they always throw a game for us. and obviously newly promoted Burnley. We will see how that develops, but ultimately, it has never been that easy. So already in the first 10 games, we pretty much will see where we might most likely are going to finish the season. Let's be real. Because we played big six teams. Everyone's moaning about the big six teams, right? We play 3 of them in the first 10 games. In the first 10 games. Then we in the next games, we have in November Spurs and Chelsea back to back. Okay, cool. Whatever. Why people are complaining about this stuff? Because at the end of the day, you play 2 big circles of the games, 2 rounds, 1 home, 1 away. You're going to play each team inevitably. So you want to tell me that all of a sudden you have forgotten that we have to play each team 2 times? You're going to tell me that this schedule all of a sudden is that difficult? Because few seasons ago, we had a season where we had in the first 3-4 games, we had to play Chelsea away and City away. Because that was very easy, wasn't it? Then nobody was complaining. But all of a sudden, to basically move the goalposts, to have something to moan about, to have the agendas basically already pre-made, pre-written, in case or inevitably when we're going to fall short. Oh, it was due to the PGMOL. Oh, it was due to red cards. Oh, it was due to Premier League. They hate us. That's why we had the tough start of the season. No, it isn't. Because we have super duper Mikel Arteta. Why are you afraid? He knows exactly what we need. There is nobody better than him. He's the 4th best paid manager in the world, and he always gets it spot on. It's never his fault. He's the best Spaniard we know, best looking Spaniard we know. His hair is always on fleek, and he always looks happy. He knows what he's doing. So why are you so worried about the start of the season? Like, give me the reasons why. Or you actually secretly, down inside, know that he's not good enough, that the team is not good enough. And you are scared because Liverpool are making big deals. Man City have done big deals. Liverpool have signed 3 players. City have signed 4, or the other way around. Chelsea are about to sign. West Ham have signed. Spurs have signed. United are signing 2. And the only team from the big 6 that are doing genuinely all sitting with a thumb up their ass is Arsenal. They are genuinely doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Big up Hyper Protagonist. Hope you're doing well today. Big up Mubarak. Hope you're doing well today, sir. And Gyökeres say bye-bye to his family and friends where is he going? No idea. Genuinely no idea. Only thing I know that he rejected Juventus's 11 million offer. That's all I know. That's all I know. After that, no idea. But we're going to talk about Gyökeres and Sesko in a second. Partey leaving is a big blow. Imagine at the free. Yep, he's leaving. It looks like he might go either to Barcelona or to somewhere else, but not Arsenal by the looks of things. Why? I have no idea. Because this club much rather extends Lokonga's contract, Elneny's, Cedric Soares's, Renaissance, Edin Nketiah's contracts, rather than extend actually a proper midfielder who actually is useful to the team. Because for me personally, if Partey stays and we get Zubimendi, it doesn't look that bad. Obviously, I still believe we need another midfielder, but if Skelly goes to midfield, I'm all good. Let's be real. But if we keep Skelly at left back, Partey leaves, Jorginho has already left, our midfield currently, right now, on the spot, consists of Rice, Merino, and Lokonga. Now, if you add Zubimendi, technically, that's 4. Still short, and quality levels have dropped massively. Like, that is insane. And now you have to replace him as well. And the nuts part of everything is, you also cannot replace him with a half-ass future signing. You need to keep the level, you need to sign the similar player. And there are not that many. And the ones that are there usually play the biggest roles in their teams. And none of those teams are going to let them go. Unless we pay way over the odds. I know we are linked with Agume, right? From Sevilla. Good player. 23 years old. There is some potential and everything. Sevilla are in financial troubles. Could be available for 20 million. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to lie. I would be okay with that signing. The thing is, though, I would be okay with that signing if Thomas Partey stayed because then he can mentor him. He's not ready to play in Premier League, in my opinion. Not ready enough. Yet we have your Igals and everyone saying, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. He is the future Yaya Toure. We heard the same thing about what's its face. Sambi Lokonga. He was the Belgian Yaya Toure. That's why we bought him. Now we are extending his contract and we'll be lucky if we can get 1/3 of his value back. We are doing great business here as an Arsenal, definitely. Arteta's record against the top 6 are one of the few excuses they have left to defend Arteta. Exactly. That's why they're crying about the fixture list. 100%. 100%. And you know what's the nut part is? Our record against Big 6 is not the issue. And overall, it has more often than not never been the issue. Ultimately, if you look at Arsenal, the biggest issues at Arsenal, it's not the Big 6 teams. Because no matter how bad we are or how bad the Big 6 teams are, we always go punch for punch, and more often than not, one team gets the best of the other team. Yes, sometimes we may lose more. Sometimes they lose more to us. It's not a big issue. The big issue is the other teams. Below the 10th place teams. We are talking about your Evertons, Bournemouths at the time. Of course, at the time, Aston Villa. At the time, of course, also Fulham's, Burnleys, Brightons, teams like that, where on paper, we should be winning. With our eyes closed, by the way, on paper. But in reality, we do nothing. We lose or we draw. It's the same level as we got Monaco in Champions League. Good draw, we should be winning. We lose. Olympiacos, we should beat them. We lose. Sporting Lisbon in Europa League, we should be beating them. We lose. Villarreal in semi-final. Francis Coquelin playing right mid. Juan Foyth, Spurs reject at right back. Like 35-year-old Raul Albiol at center back. We should be winning. Oh no, we lose. At the end of the day, Big 6 is not an issue. It's Arsenal who is the biggest issue. Because we, at the end of the day, always are our own worst enemy. No matter how you look at it, whether you like it or not. And usually this ball gene, this Arsenal is their own worst enemy gene, kicks in against the smaller teams, not against the big teams. Because getting yourself prepared to play against a big team, it's not that difficult. Obviously, the pressure and everything, it's massive. But you know what you have to do. Then again, finding motivation, your mental state to beat a smaller team, which on paper you should be beating anyways. And when they show some fight, knit and grit and everything against you on the pitch, maybe do some rougher tackle, shoulder into chest and everything. They just showed a bit harder stamp on the leg and everything, right? You genuinely lose focus and you disappear. Arsenal hate when teams get physical with them. Absolutely don't like that. After we moved to Emirates, it was very evident. Yes, when we were at Highbury, it wasn't that big of an issue, but we then had proper players, not some marshmallows like we have now. Right now, our players, as soon as you get physical with them, you give them rough tackles, high press, when you smother them, they disappear instantly. Always disappear. And that's why you see when we struggled against Luton Town away. Remember that game? We barely won 4-3. Against Aston Villa, we always struggle. Against Newcastle, we always struggle. Because they get physical, tough on us, and we never know how to answer that. Because you either are tough or you are technical, one of the two. And Arsenal, unfortunately, looking at our players, are none of those. We have volleyball team pretty much. NBA type level team. FIBA Europe type team. 6'2", 6'4", 6'1", everything, right? Yet physically, they are as strong as my 6-year-old at the end of the day. Seriously. And if we look technical ability-wise, Grandma from downstairs, who is walking on one leg pretty much and with a cane, has better touch than most of our players in the team. Like, what? You either are one or the other. And unfortunately, we are none of them. Big up, Mike. Big up, Mike. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you are doing well today, my guy. Anyways, let's move forward from this jibba-jabba about Arteta team and all this crap. Let's look at some more pain. Let's look at some proper pain. let's talk about some transfers. Let's just do it this way, right? Let's just do it this way. Let's talk about some transfers. And here we go. First things first, what we're going to talk about today is news from Fabrizio Romano. And there will be quite a few news from Fabrizio Romano, by the way. So bear with me here on this one. Here it is. First things first. Arsenal have not agreed anything with Benjamin Sesko, according to reports. According to reports, we have done nothing, as always. Yesterday, Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Benjamin Sesko. Like a week ago, Arsenal have made an offer for Gyökeres. A few days later, Fabrizio Romano comes out and says, well, that's all bullshit. Arsenal have done nothing, and they're doing nothing. We are still linked FC. Eyed FC. We are playing poker FC, as we talked about it yesterday. We are on fire. Mikel Arteta loves. Arsenal are scouting. Arsenal are identifying, looking at, exploring, and everything. Dora the Explorer settings at the end of the day. So now we are sitting here and we have done nothing, which is quite nice, isn't it? Which is quite insane. That 19 days into the market, we still haven't put in one bid. One bid for anyone we haven't put in. Because Zubimendi, apparently we are going to pay 70 million, but we haven't done it yet. We wait till July 1st so we can basically rob Sociedad's back so they feel more comfortable because of money issues. Same goes for Kepa. We are signing Kepa. Okay, it is what it is at the end of the day. 5 million. You want to tell me we cannot put 5 million on give Chelsea and he is coming here right now? We have to wait again? Like, what are we doing here? Slow as molasses. Snails move at faster pace. It's fucking nice if Arsenal got Sesko. Yeah, it would be nice if we got a striker in general. Big up no one, by the way. It would be nice if we got a striker in general. Because at the moment, we are Sesko or Gyökeres, then we have Watkins as the third option. And at the end of the day, we hear that Havertz is going to start the games anyways in the beginning of the season. Because apparently Mikel Arteta thinks that signing a striker, putting him on, let's just say, 200 grand a week, paying 80 million for a striker, still not enough to bench Kai Havertz. Good job, Arsenal. Because Havertz is like Tottenham. Dude, we cannot even chat to Tottenham, can we? They just won Europa League. We cannot even chat to them. At the moment, Arsenal are spicy Spurs. Seriously. Like, we cannot even chat to Spurs anymore. They are winning stuff. And we are doing, well, let's be real, well, nothing. At the end of the day, we are doing absolutely nothing. Anyways, speaking of, and we're going to continue on Benjamin Sesko, because this is getting utterly ridiculous right now. We're going to talk about this. I don't know who the guy is. His name is Duncan Castles. Sounds like an NBA channel. Duncan Castles, or maybe a new donut in Dunkin' Donuts or something like that, right? But we go with the flow. It is what it is, right? Apparently, Benjamin Sesko, allegedly, again, wants release clauses on any deal he agrees with Arsenal. So let me ask you this. As an Arsenal fan, when was the last time Arsenal had release clauses on a player that was joining Arsenal? Because I kid you not, I was sitting there. I might be missing someone, but I'm not gonna lie, I have never ever seen that. I have never seen Arsenal player having a release clauses. Well, at least I have never heard. I might have missed something on the way in 23 years, but who knows? That is the nuts part. I have no idea what is going on there. But let's be real. If you ask for release clauses already, do you really want to join? Because release clauses kind of, I know it technically should protect the value of the player, but it also gives the player a cop-out in case they set the value too low, he actually starts banging, and all of a sudden Real Madrid want him or something stupid like that. Like, the release clauses, this is a nuts thing. I don't know Arsenal doing release clauses. I don't see it happening. However, If this is the case, I would say screw Sesko, which would be fantastic, and do this. Just go for Gyökeres at the end of the day. Victor Gyökeres apparently has rejected an approach from Juventus worth of 13 million euros per year, about 11 or 10.5 million pounds per year, which is quite nice because that gives Arsenal a chance to sign him. Of course, let's not forget, Man United is still there. They wouldn't mind signing him. Maybe someone else could swoop in. And this is starting to get very old because the way I see it and how it should be, in my opinion, if you want the player, go out and get him. At the end of the day, if you want the goddamn player, go out and get him. Who cares what, for example, fans want? Obviously, fans have an opinion. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. Everyone has an opinion who they want for the striker position. At the end of the day, club will sign whoever they want or whoever they think is more feasible or more adequate to play the necessary position and style and system and all this stuff, right? So if you want the player, go out, pay the money, and sign him up. So there is less of this crap because every single goddamn day, it's the same stories over and over again. Just mix and match. Just genuinely, you hear something that Gyokeres does something. Next day you hear again about Gyokeres. And the worst part is, Gyokeres and Sesko, right? I said it yesterday or the day before on the stream as well. For example, it's Monday. Right? Monday news. Positive news about Gyokeres, negative news about Sesko. Tuesday news. Negative news about Gyokeres, positive ones about Sesko. Wednesday news, positive news about Gyokeres, negative ones about Sesko. Thursday news, negative ones about Gyokeres, positive ones about Sesko. And every single goddamn day, we go in this cycle where we rinse and repeat with never-ending conclusion to these sagas whatsoever, which is quite starting to get on, I think, everyone's nerves as well. I think Henry had the release clauses. Maybe I don't remember that much in depth. I might have maybe missed something, or just my memory is just not there anymore with this Arsenal, all the BS I'm seeing these days. But seriously, I have never known Arsenal having release clauses, ever. Maybe Henry had some, right? But besides that, we never do release clauses. So you want to be someone exception to the rule? We are not La Liga where it's mandatory. We are not in Bundesliga where if you want, you can easily slap them on. Arsenal don't do that. Premier League doesn't do that even in general. There are specific teams for specific players that does that, but it's not that big of a culture in Premier League from what I actually see. Mostly we do release clauses when we sell the players of sell-on clauses. That is the one I know we do, definitely. We have Cunha, yeah, you do, and you might actually get Mbuemo as well. Who knows? Bro, take Gyökeres. I would love to take Gyökeres. Pause. I would love to have Gyökeres at Arsenal, but it doesn't look that way, does it? Was it Rodrigo, Arsenal, maybe? Rodrigo, maybe. Who knows? But the more this gets dragged out, the less I have any confidence that we're gonna get him. Seriously, the more this drags out, the less of a chance and belief I have in Arsenal that we gonna get him. That is the big thing. Barcelona triggered his 125 million release clauses when they took him. Or was it 125 million euros? Can't remember. Let's see. We can actually check this very quickly. Very, very quickly. So, Thierry Henry in 2007 transferred from Arsenal to Barcelona. The deal was finalized for a fee of £16 million. And Henry signed a 4-year contract at the Spanish club. He joined Barcelona after a successful 8-year spell. You can say that unless he still that Champions League miss in 2006 haunts me, but that's a bit different story, where he became the club's all-time leading goal scorer. It wasn't the release clauses as well. Did Thierry Henry have release clauses? Yeah, he had release clauses of 84 million pounds when he joined Barcelona because in La Liga it is mandatory. In Premier League it's not as much. By the looks of things, in at Arsenal he didn't have any. He moved for 16 million pounds, the same money we paid for Sambi Lokonga. Arsenal sold Thierry Henry back in the day to Barcelona. Interesting how world works, isn't it? Right? And yeah, in Barcelona he had 84 million pound release clauses. So that is that. And 84 million pounds is 100 million euros almost. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Arsenal striker situation. So yeah, exactly. That is even worse. That's what's the nuts part in all of this. It gets worse. The more you dig into some stuff, and the more you deep it gets worse by minute. Basically, that's what's the nuts part. By the way, we touched upon Rodrigo, right? No one mentioned Rodrigo, right? There is some other news regarding Arsenal. And trust me, boy oh boy, if this comes to life, I am leaving Arsenal. I am leaving Arsenal if this comes to life. Then no, I don't remember any. Exactly, I don't as well. So that's the biggest thing. He arguably could be okay. I'm not gonna say the first one to say, but he would be one of the genuinely selective, unique, unicorn type ones at the end of the day. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, now, if this comes to life, allegedly, I'm just talking here. This is not concrete. This is nothing that big. But we're just gonna talk about this because just like Garnacho, Arsenal were linked with him. Arsenal are linked with another Chelsea reject. In this instance, Noni Madueke. Ho, he's on Arsenal's radar for this summer. But the strength of their interest is hard to go. Wow, that's very, very like as they are making checks on numerous players. Chelsea are yet to receive an approach or hold talks with their London neighbors over a move. I kid you not. This report, it is saying right here, right, is like me going right now on Twitter and saying like, let's just pick a random player out of nowhere, right? Let's just think about this. One random player from anywhere, right? Let's just say Conceição from Juventus, right? Conceição is on Arsenal's radar this summer, but the strength of their interest is hard to tell, as they are making checks on numerous players. Juventus have not received an approach or held talks with Arsenal over a move. That's it. That would be the same thing. Because there is no hard cold evidence under this. There's no hardcore anything in this regard regarding Noni Madueke to Arsenal. But I'm just going to say this right here, right now. If there is any legs behind this story, and over the course of the transfer window, we hear this, I'm not going to lie, it might get really bad. Because it doesn't matter who we gonna sign, because signing Madueke is gonna undo everything at the end of the day. We can sign, for all I care, Haaland from Man City, but if we sign Madueke, it means nothing. The Haaland signing genuinely means nothing. It's the same. This is genuinely like Sterling signing on deadline day. I can see it happening, by the way. I can see it. But that's the nuts part. Knowing Arsenal, how much Mikel Arteta loves Chelsea rejects and going through their trash cans at the end of the day. I can see at the end of the window, we still haven't signed the left winger. Rodrigo is not leaving Real Madrid. And last week of the transfer window, bang, Arsenal put in, let's just say, 45-50 million bid for Noni Madueke. Bang, Arsenal put in 40 million bid for Alejandro Garnacho. I can see it happening. And this is where this club has basically brought me to. I actually can see this club going in for some random scrub who is at who is not even better than the things that the players we have right now in the club. That's how bad it is. That's where this club has taken me. Big up G-Star. Hope you're doing well today. Kronkes don't want to win any trophies, and this is Arteta's typical signings. At the end of the day, yeah. 100%. 100%. We have been signing Chelsea rejects. Yeah, we have been signing Chelsea rejects for the longest time. And the worst part is they are never the good ones as well. They usually get our best ones, and we get their basically trash. That's what's the annoying part. Because if we went, let's just say, to Man City, if we went to Chelsea, right? If we went to Chelsea and signed Cole Palmer, okay, cool. If we went to Man City, right, and we signed, for example, oh my God, there now need to think of a player, by the way. We need to sign, we signed, for example, Reindeers. I know they just signed him, but just for the sake of an argument, right? We signed Reindeers. I would be cool, right? If we went to Man United, they don't have any good players. No offense, no one, but you don't have any. Like, genuinely. Okay, let's scratch Man United. They're draws. But if we went to some of the teams and signed their best players, I would be cool. The thing is, we signed their worst players. We give Chelsea Ashley Cole, if you want to call him, but it is what it is. We give them Ashley Cole. Well, we cannot say we gave them Cesc Fabregas, but to some extent we also did, because we had the chance to re-sign him back when he was leaving Barcelona, and Wenger said, no, we are not doing that. We signed Mikel Arteta instead. That has worked out well. And he's still haunting us 15 years later. Well, actually 13 years later. And he goes to Chelsea. And it's always like that. But what we do, we sign their dross players, like Raviel is saying, Burton, Diarra, Luiz, Cech, Sterling, Jorginho, Havertz. Just the list just goes on and on and on and on. Like, same goes for Man United. They took Van Persie from us. I don't hate Van Persie for leaving. I just hate where he left too. That's the biggest issue. But he won Premier League. Good for him at the end of the day. We gave them Alexis Sanchez. We got Mkhitaryan in return. That has worked well. And everything. Like, it's actually insane when you come to think of it. Noni is a baller, I was told. By who? Igal? Rory talks bollocks? AFTV? Who said that? Arteta can unlock Madueke. Oh, yeah. Arteta can unlock Madueke. He had a 10-second conversation and he knew he must have him. And everything. Just like with Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling left Arsenal with 0 goals scored in Premier League. That loan was worth every single penny of the 100k a week wage we paid for him. Garnacho, Madueke, Grealish, and Kepa. Oh yeah, Kepa as well from Chelsea, by the way. 10 out of 10 window. 10 out of 10 window to finish 10. Maybe, yes. Can you imagine this? We begin next season with Garnacho on the left wing. Or Madueke. Or Grealish. Can you imagine this? God forbid Raya gets injured and we begin, let's just say, game at home at the Emirates. Against Man City, by the way, we have Madueke on the wing, Kepa in goal. Oh, bloody hell. And Havertz in attack because it doesn't feel like we're going to sign a striker anyways. Can you imagine the scenes? Like, serious talk. Can you imagine the scenes? A drunk at the Emirates. Oh, I get it. You were celebrating, well, us beating Madrid trophy, I guess. I get it. You were having a drink because of the transfer pain and all this stuff. But if Arsenal sign Noni Madueke, I'm like, I might as well become Yeovil Town fan or something like that. I kid you not. Might as well become Yeovil Town fan at the end of the day. Like, right? So, let's look at this. Because this is nuts, actually. This is what we got told as Arsenal fans, to us as Arsenal fans, on May 17th, 1 month ago exactly, by Jordan Davies. No idea who that is, but we go with the flow. Arsenal's determination to complete transfer deals quickly this summer has left European rivals, including Barcelona, stunned. The Gunners' speed in lining up targets has forced others to recalibrate and rethink their own strategies. The PR machine is working well, isn't it? We got told this exactly a month and 2 days ago. So far, 19 days into market, where is the fast movement and everything? Where is Barcelona stand? They're signing Nico Williams. Not that I want Nico Williams, but at least they're signing players. Where we have stunned Liverpool. Liverpool just won the league, and they're signing Wirtz, Gyökeres, Frimpong. Man City finished 5 points behind us, if I'm not mistaken, last season. They have signed Reinders, they have signed Cherky, made Nori, and then I'm missing another one there. And in January they signed Marmoush, Kusanov, Nico Gonzalez, and everyone else. Vittoris. Like Man United, they are very stunned. They signed already Mateusz Cunha, could be signing Buemo. Very stunned. We have stunned everyone. Yet they all have their signings before us. Exactly. Big up Jack Reacher. Big up. Jack Reacher. Wait. Jack Reacher. Is that the guy from that film? From that TV show? Or is that from the Tom Cruise movies? Because I'm starting to think, was it Jack Reacher as well there? It kind of threw me off a bit there, I'm not gonna lie. But big up Jack Reacher. But yeah, we have stunned everyone. And we haven't stunned anyone. We genuinely have thrown a flashbang right in front of our feet. We have flashbanged ourselves. We are stunned. We see nothing. Ears are ringing. And once the eyes will open up, everything will clear. We will start to hear again. Premier League season is going to kick off away at Old Trafford against Man United. That's what it looks like at the moment. It's not looking great. It genuinely is not looking great whatsoever. Not gonna lie, it's definitely not looking too great, is it? Anyways, let's move on a bit. Some other random news from today. Apparently, Brentford have put a 50 million price tag on striker Yoane Wissa. Clubs that are interested in Wissa are Nottingham Forest, obviously, Spurs, obviously because of Thomas Frank, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, interestingly enough, and of course, Arsenal. Now, I don't know if Arsenal is there just because it gets you more clicks or not, because it usually does. But Arsenal signing Wissa, what do you guys think? Both Tom Cruise movie and Amazon series. Big up, big up. I watched the first three episodes of Reacher and I stopped because, well, I don't have time. Genuinely don't have time to watch the series, sadly enough. I like the few first series. As a backup, not as a starter, as a backup. Because if we get Wissa as a starter, might not be good enough. That would be like signing Watkins. I'm not gonna lie. As a secondary striker, I would be cool with that. But then again, while what's his face, Jonathan David's available for free, why we are wasting 50 million on him, on Wissa then, if we would go for him? Because signing David would be about, I would say, 15 million, like agency fees, signing on fees, and all this stuff. Most likely it would be about 10 million, right? So then you can use the rest of the money to sign someone big. So why would we genuinely waste the money there? Like, serious talk, why would we waste money on any of those? It makes genuinely zero sense why we are linked with Wissa. Like, that is a very random and weird one, which I absolutely cannot, like, figure out what is going on there. But to make things worse, as an Arsenal fan, if you know, you know, Thomas Partey. I apologize on behalf of my 4-year-old daughter who asked me why I'm watching Despicable Me, implying you sound like Gru. Thanks. Not the first time I have heard it, and not the last time as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gonna get my minions to get you, by the way. We're starting to be a stop-off club like Dortmund. The pull we got from 22, 23, and 23, 24 seasons is fading. We are stagnating, and we'll have trouble pulling players if we get it wrong this summer. 100%. And to be honest, like we never actually utilized the fact that the 22-23 season and 23-24 season to our advantage. You could say, oh, we signed Declan Rice. But like City stopped at 90 million. We paid 105. We paid way over the odds. Nobody else was in it. Bayern Munich definitely wouldn't have bought him. Let's be real. Don't even kid yourselves after Harry Kane stuff and everything, right? So you could argue Declan Rice is the only one. Rest of them, come on, Calafiori we can sign anyways. Merino we can sign anyways. You want to tell me Jorginho, Kai Havertz, and all these guys come to be signed anyways? Not that I wanted them, but in general. And on top of that, we don't even have the pull because based on the wages we are paying these, well, let's be real, bums to some extent, there is no other reason why they would have signed. Because there's also no logical explanation why, for example, Merino's salary coming from Real Sociedad to Arsenal has tripled almost from the 50 to 120, so 2.5 times more. Why Calafiori's salary has gone 10 times, has increased from 12 to 120. Why has it grown? Like seriously, like if you look at it that way, why? I don't see a reason why. That's what's the nuts part in all of this. Like, if the club doesn't have pull, only thing they can do is pay money to get them. And if we offer this, then that's the only way. Like, for example, Kivior, right? That is, for me, Kivior is a weird signing because Kivior at Spezia, right? At Spezia in Italy was on $2,000 a week. $2,000. Like, okay, cool. He comes to Arsenal, sits on the bench most of the time, and he is on 58,000 a week. 29 times salary increase. 29 times. Go figure. Zinchenko was on 20 grand at City, now he's on 150. Jesus was on 90 at City, he's now at 265. Like, something is not adding up there. Madueke is on market now. Oh, big up Greenland, but don't start this. Genuinely, please don't. It's painful as it is. I don't know any club that has paid millions for so many players who eventually leave on free. Oh, that's Arsenal's signature move. We sign players for big money, extend their contracts, raise their contracts into stratosphere to a point where they have no resale value, and the only things we can do is let them go for free or rip up their contracts. Because let's be real, we could have gone about 25 million. Well, no, not Oxlade. We could have gone about 20 million for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. We didn't sell him; he left for free. We could have gone about 10 million, if I'm not mistaken, for Cedric Suarez. He left for free. We could have gone 45 million from Palmeiras last summer for Jesus, and we are not getting anything close after his last injury whatsoever in surgery. He's coming back in November. We do this all the time. El Neni as well. We could have gotten about 10, 15 million for El Neni. Or no, 10. Yeah, 10. I think Fenerbahce or Galatasaray were offering 10 million or 15 at the time. What we do, we extend his contract, let him go for free. Who does that? Genuinely, who does that? And also, speaking of this, by the way, how comes Arsenal is the only club who didn't make money on Aubameyang? Think about it. He went from AC Milan to Borussia Dortmund. No, or what? Saint-Etienne? Basically one of the small, from Saint-Etienne to AC Milan or the other way around. They got the money. He moved to Borussia Dortmund. They got the money. Borussia Dortmund sold him to us. They got the money. Arsenal binned him off for free. He goes to Barcelona, wins stuff there. Chelsea pay Barcelona, so Barcelona get money for Aubameyang. Aubameyang stinks out the gaff pretty much at Chelsea. Chelsea sell him to Marseille, so Chelsea also get the money. And then Marseille, he has phenomenal season there. One of the biggest reasons why Marseille were actually anywhere that season. And they sell him to Saudis. So Marseille also make money. So if you look at this equation in general, Arsenal are the only team that didn't make a single penny on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Make it make sense. Like, seriously, make it make some sort of sense, please. Some sort of sense whatsoever. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And Thomas Partey now, it looks like he's leaving. We are not resigning. There's no agreement. What he wants, I have no idea. Either he wants to be a starter or he wants to increase salary or what, I have no idea. Maybe he wants a longer contract, but Arsenal are not willing to give that to him. I get it. I'm not gonna lie. If he wants the same salary, right? 1 year plus 1 year option from club's view, like if they want, they can extend. I can agree with that. But if he wants increased salary, he wants a 3 year deal and stuff like that, it is what it is. Because he is not worth 200 grand on a 3 year deal to take such a gamble knowing his injury history. At the same time, you cannot deny that he is arguably top 5 player for Arsenal this season, the season that just ended. You cannot deny that. So losing him is very detrimental to Arsenal because replacing him arguably will be hell on earth. Like currently, you cannot. You have to pay about 80 million to replace him if you want to, but you won't, which means you will penny pinch for some player for the future with potential, with hopes that in 2-3 years, he becomes the next Thomas Partey. So basically, you're going to leave a massive hole in Arsenal's midfield because for me, Zubimendi is massive improvement on Jorginho. More or less, not even a massive. He's an improvement on Jorginho. But he's not improvement on Thomas Partey. Yes, there are stuff he can do better than Thomas Partey without shadow of a doubt. At the same time, we don't have a midfielder that fits Thomas Partey's profile. Hence why, without him in the midfield, whenever he's even at right back, Arsenal's midfield looks partially lost and gets overrun many times. So losing Thomas Partey actually is going to do Arsenal more harm than good at the end of the day. And will they replace him? Do they have in the plans to replace him? Because this guy as well, we paid 50 million release clauses for this guy. And he's leaving for free, by the way. His contract runs out in, 11 days. What are we doing? Serious talk. What is Arsenal doing? Because ultimately, I don't know what is going on here. Looking at Arsenal, looking how they do business, it's actually kind of confusing more than anything. You know, I say about Arsenal, if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. But to some extent, sometimes it feels like. But to some extent, it doesn't even feel like Arsenal know what they're doing themselves. At least looking at striker situation, they haven't decided. Because if they had decided, he already would be signed. We wouldn't basically be pissing around with 3 different strikers and basically throwing darts blindfolded in hopes that one of them hits the bullseye. We are just, I don't know. Well, looking from the other point of view, Fabrizio Romano today tweeted about Zubimendi. Obviously, Arsenal have signed Zubimendi already since January, according to reports from Sam Mokbel and other guys. He's been announced 2 times. He's done the medical already, based on the reports. But we haven't even paid for him, which is quite interesting, if you look at it that way. But yeah, Arsenal will pay slightly more than 60 million euros release clauses as part of the pact with Real Sociedad for Martin Zubimendi deal. What sort of a pact? Is this like some sort of a cult or something? A pact? The fee will be a bit higher, but allowing payment in installments as clubs share excellent relationships. Here we go, confirm. Why do we need these excellent relationships? Like, if you go to the player, you say to the club even face-to-face, in 10 minutes, I'm transferring 50 million in La Liga's BBVA bank accounts. He's coming to us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your business. It is what it is. Move on. Like, I know Arsenal pissed off Atletico Madrid when on deadline they pulled the Partey thing, right? But there is no time, like, Also in football, the friendship, this part to keep good relations, it's such a dumb thing. We didn't go for Caicedo to keep good relations and go for him next summer. Did we? No. We didn't even sign him. We kept good relations with Sao Paulo. How many times we have done deals with Sao Paulo? Never. We always need to do this buddy ball per se, football friends, and all this type of crap we have to pull to keep good relations, to move, to do everything, and all this stuff. When at the end of the day, we never do the business with the club again. Like, think about it. When was the last time we actually signed two players from one club back to back or something like that? This is the first time, pretty much. Jesus was the last one, the Man City with Jesus and everything. In one window, definitely. You can say Havertz and Jorginho in summer, but in January, but that's a bit different story. But overall, in one summer or something like that, we don't do that too often, do we? Shows lack of competence, all of the signings being equal. A player won't want to come to Arsenal if they don't know what they can expect a drawn-out transfer negotiation. I'm a lawyer, deal fatigue. Yeah, exactly. At some point, one of the sides will get pissed off. That's inevitable. If you drag this out for too long, one of the sides will be pissed off. That will be basically even elevated by the fact if you do Arsenal, what Arsenal do in transfer windows, undercut, try to get a bargain, undervalue the player. Player's value is 45 million, Arsenal bid 30. The more you do this stuff, the more aggravated the other side becomes. And at the end of the day, that side actually might say, well, I'm sick and tired of this shit. You either pay me or I'm piecing out the scene. And then you basically have no option. Either you pay the full money or you lose the player and you have to try and find plan B. And knowing Arsenal, based on how we are doing business, we don't even have plan B. Just like Mikel Arteta on the pitch when he's managing and coaching. There is plan A, but what's the plan B? Plan C? Plan D? None of those. Because Thomas Partey is leaving, for example. Where's his replacement? Haven't heard nothing. Left wing. What are we gonna do? We've been trying to sign Nico Williams for a year. He's moving to Barcelona at the end of the day, so he's not joining us. Rodrigo is the next big thing. And what if Rodrigo doesn't sign? What then? Madueke? Garnacho? Like, if you look at it this way, where? We don't have no plan Bs or plan Cs if plan A doesn't work. And that is also, I think, partial reason why we are overpaying players' salaries just to get them over the line. Because we panic. We don't think ahead. We just think for the moment and everything. We don't think ahead just in case something goes wrong. Because looking at how Arsenal do business, it's painful to say the least. Genuinely, it is very painful to say the least. There is no planning, just vibes and winging it at the end of the day. Like that, I don't know. It's just my thought point of view from the outside looking in. Whether it's true or not, obviously we're never gonna know unless you work for Arsenal at the end of the day. But overall, it is not looking too great, is it? At the end of the day, it is not looking too great, is it? Let me share this just so we can have something funny on the screen. How long do we have to wait till Arsenal actually are going to do something? How long do we have to wait? Serious talk and serious question. How long do we have to wait? Like, for me, that is the biggest question, because if we have to wait still 2 weeks to actually sign one player, that is a sheer and utter disgrace and sheer utter embarrassment. Like serious talk. Well, odds on this being true. Odds on this being true. In the last, Alex Crook, right? Alex Crook. Talk, right? I had a message 24 hours ago suggesting that Victor Gyökeres has told his friends and family that he expects to join Arsenal. Arsenal are juggling both him and Benjamin Sesko, but at the moment, I would say Gyökeres looks the more likely. Thoughts? Ideas? Will it happen? Won't it happen? Because for me personally, I don't know where we go from here. It doesn't look too promising, does it? Genuinely, doesn't look too promising, does it? Like, I don't even know what to say, because being an Arsenal fan is genuinely sucking the life out of me to some extent. Like, seriously, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's kind of sucking the living crap out of me to a certain extent. So it is what it is. Let's see, Trabzonspor. So we'll see how this goes. Kwanzaa might be joining Leverkusen, which is quite interesting. I'm not gonna lie. 2-game man of the match, Palmeiras. Esteval with 2 men of the matches. Chelsea are looking good in that regard. Skelly is about to sign the new deal. That was confirmed yesterday. Anything else? Napoli about to sign Vanya. Oh! Crystal Palace. Are they preparing to replace basically Margehi, or is this actually just an extra addition because they are in Europe? Might be or might not, obviously. This is actually kind of good signing for Crystal Palace. If they manage to get him for a good price, the resale value, if he does one good season even, will be insane. Feels like every summer the club always playing whack-a-mole. Yeah, we fix a part of the squad, leave a part unfixed until we have to fix the part we actually fixed. Yeah, and it goes just in a circle. We fix attack, by the time then the defense breaks. While we're fixing defense, attack breaks again. Then we are fixing attack, then midfield breaks. And we just go in a chain reaction all over the place. Imagine front three of Madueke, Nicolas Jackson, and Garnacho. Good luck, Chelsea. Because that could be a Chelsea thing. Chelsea might be doing that. I don't see it happening, but for Chelsea, that actually could be a thing. Although I know Bowley's spending lots of money, but I don't think Chelsea are that dumb. Let's just put it that. But yeah, Crystal Palace are looking at this. This is actually quite good move for Chelsea, for Crystal Palace, in my opinion. So we'll see. Wirtz is in London, or Liverpool, sorry. Thomas Partey gonna leave. Mbappe has gastritis or whatever that is. So nothing too much to report overall. We have kind of covered everything, which is quite nice. But yeah, Arsenal genuinely are sitting still and knowing nothing, whilst other teams are signing every single player they need, actually, around the world, which is the most frustrating part over everything. Oh, Samuel Morodion scored for Porto. They're winning 1-0 against Inter Miami, which is quite interesting. The team, pretty even game so far. 1-0 to Porto. I'm just checking scores at the moment. Spain won 5-0 against Montenegro, the under-21s. What are tomorrow Club World Cup games saying? Juventus. Oh. So tomorrow Club World Cup. Well, during night, 1 a.m. my time. Seattle Sounders against Atletico Madrid. PSG versus Botafogo. I would love to watch that game, but it's 4 a.m. my time. Unfortunately, that game is 4 a.m. my time, so I cannot watch that Botafogo game. Benfica versus Auckland. Will they get panned again? And in 9 p.m. my time, Flamenco versus Chelsea. Oh, that will be a good game. Flamenco plays some very nice football. Jorginho against his old team. That actually could be quite nice. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely gonna watch some of those games. Maybe actually live whilst I'm streaming as well on the second screen and everything. That actually would be quite nice. But yeah, regarding Arsenal, regarding everything, how things are going, yeah, I don't know even what to say. Arsenal are dragging this out way too long. Because if we look at our main rivals, they are already 3-4 steps ahead. We have fallen behind, and it's a very, very big worry. Looking at the start of the season that we have, looking at the fact that in a month we are flying to Singapore, and in about 2 weeks' time we start the Mallorca training, which Arteta does every season. It's not looking too great, is it? And Arsenal need to sell some players. We need to sign a lot of players. In my opinion, we actually need to sign about 6 players. And that doesn't even include outgoings, which need to be replaced as well, potentially. So it is a tough one. It is a rough one. We as Arsenal fans are in for a very long, long ride. And I'm kind of expecting to be basically a roller coaster ride where it's going to be up and down, pain and happiness, pain and happiness. I just hope that at the end of the window, we don't throw up with some deadline day crap, or in the first game of the season, we just don't shit our pants. That basically is my hope at the end of the day. But for today, I think I'm going to sign out. So if you haven't already, please do me a favor, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Aiming for that 1K before the season begins. It's exactly pretty much in 2 months. So hopefully in those 2 months' time, we can reach 1,000 subscribers, the big 1K. Have a nice evening. Tomorrow's Friday, so that's a good news. Obviously, for me, afterwards, I have 4 days off because there's Saturday, Sunday, and international holidays. National holidays, sorry, so I have 2 extra days off, which is quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, and relax a bit more. But yeah, for today, I am piecing the scene. I am out. Have a great evening. Have a great relaxation for you as well. If you haven't already, go check my TikTok and my YouTube short at Mr. Robo19 TV on both. And see you all tomorrow in hopes that Arsenal will do something, because usually on Friday we tend to get some good news. So there is hope, there is copium, there is hopium, and all this stuff. So I guess fingers crossed. Peace.